Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about a crime thriller film called Army of Thieves from 2021. Enjoy your viewing. The movie tells us about an ordinary bank employee named Sebastian. He has an unusual hobby, opening safes. Since childhood, he has dreamed of a career as a safe cracker and honed his skills. Now he wants only one thing, for someone to notice and appreciate his hidden talent. Sebastian sits down in front of the camera in his room. Today he is going to tell his favorite story about how once upon a time there was a skilled locksmith and engineer named Hans Wagner who lived in Munich. He worked successfully in his factory until an accident happened. In an instant, his beloved wife and son died, and after that Hans set about creating 4 safes, the complexity of the mechanisms of which had never been seen before. Each safe was named after an opera from Richard Wagner's cycle. Having completed them, the engineer created the 5th safe. This safe is able to contain all his sufferings and troubles, and lock them away forever. Wagner went inside the safe and locked the door. It was impossible to free him, and the safe became a tomb for the engineer. He was sent to the bottom of the sea. Other safes are still being secretly used, and every burglar dreams of finding out where they are. Sebastian ends his video with a request to like and subscribe to him. His hobby is not only telling stories about legends, but also actually picking locks. This time, the guy manages to crack his simulator in 8 seconds, but his blogging career is much worse. And once again, his video doesn't get a single view. He puts on a suit and runs into a cafe. After that, Sebastian comes to work at the bank. He is again lucky enough to run into an elderly lady who scolds him. Meanwhile, on TV, they say that a zombie apocalypse is happening in Las Vegas. However, no one is particularly concerned. The next day, Sebastian receives the first comment under the video. He starts to get very excited. In addition, the commenter asks if the burglar is ready to test his skills in the case. To do this, he will need to come to a certain place in the evening and give the password. He sets off and is escorted by a security guard to the center of the arena, where the other 7 participants are waiting for him. This is where the speed cracking competition is taking place. The crowd on the upper floors is cheering and placing bets. The stopwatch is running, but Sebastian is still at a loss for words. No one is answering his questions. After looking around and making sure he is not dreaming, the man is the last to start the task. Only 4 people will make it to the next stage, and 3 strangers have already completed the task. Sebastian focuses and becomes the 4th in the semifinals. The first to crack the safe is the confident Neo. Sebastian comes in second. In the final, they have to break a huge door in 3 minutes. While Neo works hard on the mechanism, Sebastian takes his time and watches his opponent. The host announces that in case of a tie, there will be 2 winners. Sebastian slowly puts his hand on the door, trying to feel what is hidden inside. But he hasn't even started yet. It seems like he's just stalling, but at the last seconds he gets down to business and masterfully opens the lock. The furious Neo, who is lost, is dragged away by the guards. Among the crowd, Sebastian notices the look and smile of a stranger. Sebastian returns home and puts the trophy next to the photos of his family. He is very proud that he had the opportunity to prove his skills in the business. In the morning, the guy goes to the cafe as usual. There he finds Gwendolyn, the same beautiful woman who smiled at him. She sneaked up behind him, and in surprise, the man knocks over his coffee. The girl tells him that it was she who left the comment under the video. She is a known thief of valuables, wanted by Interpol. The girl likes Sebastian's knowledge of Wagner's safes and wants to hire him to join her team. As proof, she demonstrates stolen items from 3 coffee shop customers. She even stole a real gun from one of them. Sebastian is terrified, but Gwendolyn promises to change his life forever. He will have a chance to crack those legendary safes. Gwen and her team have managed to find all 3 vaults in Europe, and they are ready to commit the crime of the century. The girl gives Sebastian time to think and leaves. Another boring day at work makes the man more and more inclined to leave his past life forever. Returning home, Sebastian sees a report about the spread of a virus in the United States that turns people into zombies. Outside, he hears metal clanging. He opens the door and finds a zombie standing in the hallway. The girl attacks him, and in fear, Sebastian wakes up on his couch. He visits the address Gwen left him. There he meets Karina, who is in charge of logistics and hacking any electronic devices. Later he sees the driver Rolf, who is an expert in drifting and hijacking. He also meets a man who is introduced as a real-life action hero. His name is Brad Cage. Karina brings the newcomer up to speed. The first target is the Reinhold safe in Paris. Although it has hundreds of millions of combinations, it is the simplest and most unprotected safe of the 3. Brad doesn't understand why it's worth opening it, since it contains much less money than the others. But for Gwen, the symbolism of the plan is more important. Valkyrie is in Prague, and Siegfried, the most complex safe. Sebastian has a million questions. There's no time for that, so the team heads to Paris. The van stops at a bank. The guy starts to panic, but there are still 2 much more difficult tasks ahead. Sebastian will have to go in first and immediately go to the restroom. There are many people in the bank, so this will not arouse suspicion. He will be followed by Gwen, who will steal the keys from the old guard at the entrance and then make her way into the cellular branch. Immediately after, Karina will enter to distract the woman accompanying Gwen. Then Gwen will escape and go down to the vault with Sebastian. Everything goes according to plan, and they find themselves in front of Ryan Gold, but Sebastian is in no hurry. Seeing one of the greatest creations of his idol, his nervousness quickly disappears. He begins to talk about the rings of Nibelung. The first opera tells the story of a dwarf who made a powerful ring out of stolen gold. All the gods wanted to get it. Gwendolyn is more interested in saving time, and she interrupts the story, but Sebastian finishes anyway. Now, like a dwarf, he will trick 3 mermaids from the Rhine and steal their gold. He turns on the music on his phone, stretches his arms, and puts his ear to the safe. He needs to identify 430 million false combinations to find the right positions of the 3 locks. One by one, the parts of the mechanism fall into place, causing a pleasant click. Unable to believe his luck, Sebastian pulls the heavy door towards him, and it opens. He and Gwen are very happy, although their bags are too small to take everything in. Gwendolyn says that the fact that the great safe was broken into is more important. In a fit of emotion, Sebastian almost kisses the girl. Brad again distracts the staff so that the burglars can return to their positions and escape. Rolf starts the car and flees the crime scene with the team. The robbery is reported to Interpol. Agent Delacroix and his partner Beatrix are going to stop the criminals from finishing what they started. They know that the criminals are after Wagner Delacroix's safes. Once he almost caught Gwendolyn and Brad, but was shot. The Frenchman was saved by an iron flask he kept in his back pocket. A zombie apocalypse is spreading across the world. The criminals have chosen a good time to start robbing. However, Delacroix has a personal score to settle with them, and will not back down from anything. Meanwhile, the 5 criminals celebrate their success at the headquarters. They play pong and dance. Irina even tries to seduce the newcomer, but he is already in love with Gwen. But Sebastian has little chance because his chosen one has been dating Brad for a long time. But Sebastian still finds a way to spend time with her. Gwendolyn has just had a fight with her boyfriend, whose real name is Alexis. He came up with a cool nickname in his fantasies, literally crossing Brad Pitt and Nicolas Cage. Sebastian couldn't make friends with other children as a child, and also came up with a cool character, a burglar named Ludwig Dieter. He often imagined himself in his place while he practiced picking locks. Gwen also talks about her youth, when her father earned money in real estate. In fact, he took the last money from those who tried to buy at least some housing. She did a lot of stupid things, took the criminal path, but broke the legendary safe. This is her attempt to touch real art and do something great. Of course, the case will be incomplete without Novosilf, whom she will go in search of in the United States, Nevada. Only Sebastian shares her enthusiasm, and their rapprochement irritates Alexis greatly. The next morning, the team arrives in the Czech capital, where Interpol, led by Delacroix, is waiting for them. Sebastian is fussing with excitement. This case will be much more difficult than the previous one. Although Karina has studied the entire security system, there are no guarantees of success. Sebastian enters the bank and Karina opens all the right doors for him. However, the elevators are occupied, and the burglar is caught on the surveillance cameras. The guards begin to suspect something is wrong. Gwen and Sebastian find themselves in an elevator, where a man tries to ask her about her personal life. They are unable to finish the conversation because the doors open. Gwen skillfully disarms the 2 guards and gets into a fight with them. While Sebastian hides in the corner, the girl clears the way and invites Sebastian to Valkyrie. This is a story of forbidden love that angered the gods. They were sentenced to death, but Valkyrie stood up for the lovers and was deprived of immortality. Gwen no longer tries to interrupt her partner's ritual, but at this time Delacroix can't stand it and orders his men to enter the bank. Security also blocks the system. Suspecting that Corinne will no longer be able to get her partners out, Brad proceeds to plan B and arms himself. Delacroix gets into the vault, where it turns out that all this time they were on duty at another bank. The Valkyrie was moved to a more reputable branch not so long ago. The police rush there. The masked Brad breaks into the bank and shoots the guards with tranquilizer darts. He defeats the rest of the opponents with powerful punches and demands that they all lie on the floor. Sebastian finally begins to break into the safe, but the mechanism detects the attempt. The next miss locks the contents inside forever. Brad desperately stalls for time by faking a robbery, and the guards call the police. Sebastian methodically advances and eventually opens the Valkyrie safe. They fill their bags and head for the exit, but Brad gets shot by a guard and jumps out the window. Gwen and Sebastian merge with the crowd of former hostages, but they have to run to the van to avoid being caught by the police. Sebastian is the last to jump in, but Brad pushes him into the road. The boy has to hide. Stealing a bike, he heads down the narrow streets and flies down the stairs without slowing down. He makes a last dash to jump on a departing train, The joy of escape and another broken Wagner masterpiece quickly gives way to sadness. Sebastian is alone again. Gwen is furious with Brad. Although throwing the new guy out was the team's original plan, it should have been done after the third safe. The man replies that he doesn't care, because they all have enough money for a comfortable old age. But for Gwen, something else is important. Although Brad confesses his love for her, she breaks up with him. He demands that she stop the car. Karina gets out after her friend. Exhausted, Sebastian reaches the house where the girls are waiting for him. They scare him, and the boy douses himself with boiling water again. Although he has many reasons not to trust Gwen and Karina, the whole team has gone too far to stop halfway. Delacroix finds a video of Sebastian on YouTube and recognizes him as the fugitive. Meanwhile, the burglar is dreaming of zombies again. He closes himself off from them inside the safe, but they are waiting for him there. When he wakes up, he realizes that he is on his way to Switzerland. Interpol agents are already waiting outside the casino where the third safe is located. They tap into the criminal's radio waves and intercept a message that the robbery will take place at 5 a.m. Beatrice suspects that this information was obtained too easily, but Delacroix is out for revenge and rejects all doubt. At 5 o'clock he enters the casino, where he is informed that 8 hours ago Interpol had already reported the impending attack. The safe is on its way to a safe place, but the car that is carrying it is driven by Gwen. She overpowered the guards in advance and took their uniforms. Together with Sebastian, they disguised themselves and took the safe from the casino. Karina sent a fake message, which was intercepted by Interpol. This safe Sebastian will have to open it on the fly. He turns on the music and tells the legend of Siegfried. Although in this opera the warrior has passed all the tests and found his love, his story will still end as usual. Brad and Rolf, who were also on duty at the casino, follow the fugitives. They manage to track Gwen's phone. Karina notices this and tries to stop them, but they drive away. Suddenly, the girl is intercepted by Delacroix. At the last moment, she manages to warn her friends of the danger. Under pressure and promises from Interpol to take care of her younger brother, Karina gives up and gives away her friend's route. Meanwhile, Sebastian has already managed the 6th of Siegfried's 7 castles. On the Highland Serpentine, Gwen has to make a sharp turn, and the boy is thrown from corner to corner. He manages to hold on and push the last lock into place. Even though Brad and the cops are chasing them, the partners take time to feel the moment of triumph. Sebastian discovers the hidden meaning of the heroic epic and the engineer's plan. Having filled their bags, they prepare to leave, but Brad catches up with them and demands that Gwen return. Brad points a gun at Sebastian and pulls the trigger, but the gun doesn't work. His second attempt ends in the same way. Gwen disarmed his gun long ago after the ill-fated shot in the Croix case. Sebastian rushes at Brad and punches him in the face. This has no effect, except that he grabs his arm in pain. Threatening with a loaded gun, Gwen ties the traitors to the truck and takes their car with Sebastian. Delacroix catches up to the truck and arrests Brad and Rolf. The fugitives reach a place near the lake. Sebastian confesses his love to Gwen, and Gwen kisses him back. With the money, they head for the boat, where they are stopped by Delacroix. Gwendolyn also pulls out a gun and offers the agent a deal. She will surrender if he lets Sebastian go. Delacroix agrees, but the boy is not satisfied. Gwen assures him that she will get out of prison and find him to finish what they started together. With tears in his eyes, Sebastian agrees to get on the boat and escape. He finds in his backpack a fake passport in the name of Ludwig Dieter, which Gwen had prepared for their trip to the United States. Sebastian will wait for his love as long as it takes. After some time in California, a woman and a man are looking for a locksmith. They go to a back room where Sebastian is sitting. The guests offer Sebastian $250,000 for one day's work and put a drawing on his desk. With a smile on his face, he agrees to the job. If you have watched the video so far, you should know that I am happy to have viewers like you. Thank you for watching to the end. Subscribe to the channel and follow the news. Klontsak Recapped was with you. See you soon.